Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Flamvell deck. Now Flamevells are really based on getting them to the graveyard and then summoning them back with Rekindling and loading the field with big synchros, big power, big XYZs on top of that, really going for big plays. So in my deck I'm using a few Flamevells and then just a lot of support cards that kind of go with the deck really nicely. So first off, we have Flamvell Magician, so 1400 attack, but he's a 4-star tuner, which is really good. His effect is interesting, but not usually that useful. Flamvell Firedog, so the beater in this deck, very strong effect, allowing him to special summon more Flamevells. Very nice with his attack. Flamvell Archer, so a 3-star tuner, giving you opportunities to do other types of synchros, and his effect is interesting because you can tribute a Pyro and have all the Flamevells gain attack. So you can basically use up a Flamvell, have all your Flamevells like really become a powerful force, and then synchro them towards the end or Rekindling towards the end and get the monsters back. Just a bunch of things you can do with that. And then Flamvell Poun. So this one's just nice because it's a searcher, lets you search out whatever you need. Interesting note for that card is it specifies a monster with 200 defense. So if cards have 200 defense but they aren't necessarily a Flamvell, then you can still get them. So you can get Lyla with this card, which is really nice. But also, because he's 1-star, it gives you opportunities to do other synchros and stuff. Card Trooper, very nice for this deck. Basically a beater that's going to give you a little bit of draw power and feed the graveyard easily. So the Lightsworns are helping out in this deck a little bit, kind of a mini Lightsworn engine. Lyla, Ryko, and Jain, very powerful ones that help you very nicely. Photon Trasher, just very nice for this deck because you want to be able to do quick synchros and XYZs. Same thing with Summoner Monk, very nice. Then Blaster, perfect card for this deck, giving you access to do some powerful combos, setting up the graveyard, destroying cards. Just very nice. Cyber Dragon, kind of along with Photon Trasher, giving you an opportunity to do some nice plays. And Magician of Faith, just perfect for this deck. The main problem this deck has is losing Rekindling, kind of like how Lightsworns lose Judgment Dragon. So you want to be able to get it back, and Magician of Faith is one of the easy ways to get it back. And then 3 Rekindlings, obviously the star card of this deck, just brings back all your monsters. It's insane, it's very cheap, very fun to do. 2 MSTs, 2 Pot of Dualities. We do have a good amount of special summoning, but still need some draw power. Dark Hall, 1 Charge of the Light Brigade, just perfect in this deck. And 1 Magical Stone Excavation, again very good for this deck, loading up the graveyard and getting Rekindling back. You can run 2 of this, but it's difficult. You don't want to lose too many of your cards, but still can be a good choice. And then for the traps, not too much to say there. Pretty much stable traps. So now for the extra deck, I'm going to have a variety of levels for the synchros. That's just how this deck works. So you're going to want to have like Catastor, Armades, Hyper Librarian, very good for this deck. Iron Chain Dragon, Black Rose, Scrap, Stardust. The obvious players. You can add more 8-stars if you want, like Crimson Blader and stuff. My extra deck is a little more varied in terms of levels and stuff like that, but it's up to you. Also 1 Star Eater, because that can be gotten out pretty easily with all the monsters you're bringing in. And a nice way to obviously get through your opponent's back row. For the XYZ, not that many 3-stars, but we do have a few, so Zenmaines can be useful. And then just some typical 4-stars, Gagaga, Silent Honor, Exton Knight, Lavalo, and Maestroke. You could add more 4-stars that are more like beater oriented, but I think the ones I'm using are really good because of how situationally useful they are. You're going to be synchroing more than XYZing, but it's still nice to be able to XYZ based on your current situation. And then 1 Chimera Tech, just because we have Cyber Dragon. Just a choice in this deck. It's up to you if you want to have this, but just nice, running up against any machines. So now for the side deck. Again, side decks in my videos are just kind of recommended cards that can also work when you're building the deck. It isn't like a side deck for matches. These are cards that, when you're building your own deck and you're trying to think about what you want to use, these are some options you could think about. So Flamevells actually combo really well with zombies, so that's an alternative you can do. So Plague Spreader in here to kind of represent that, giving you access to some really interesting combos. Magical Merchant, really good in this deck. If you run a really low spell trap count, you can use this card to load your graveyard and get Rekindling very fast. So that's another way to do it, kind of like a Magical Merchant turbo type deck. There are other Flamevells you can use. Grunka can do some burn damage, but not that useful otherwise. Another 4-star though that you can use. Flamvell Baby its effect isn't that great, but loading it to the graveyard to get back with Rekindling can lead to some powerful combos. Gives you more of an ability to do 5-star synchros. There's a bunch of other synchros you can add. If you use like Flamvell Baby, you can do like Formula Synchron. You can start doing other powerful plays like bringing out Shooting Quasar, bringing out Red Nova Dragon. There's a lot of different things you could do with that. There's also a couple Flamvell synchros. I'm just not a big fan of them. I just don't think they're that great, but they're definitely there if you want to use them. Some of the other spells and traps you can use, Hand Destruction can be very good, but obviously requires both of you to have a certain hand situation. You can also combo this deck with like Volcanics, so you can run Volcanics and Blaze Accelerator and all that, which can lead to some interesting stuff. 1-for-1 can be good for this type of deck because you get Poun out, although your opponent might not want to attack it, so it's up to you. Still a good card to get something to the graveyard. Gold Sark, obviously, to get Rekindling can be really useful because you need that card. And, Flamvell Counter can be interesting, but I like to keep my graveyard kind of set. Still can be useful. Trap Stun, because you're going in for big plays. If you're not running many traps, this can be a good thing to use, even if you are running traps. But if you're not running traps at all, you might as well just run like Royal Decree. Again, just one of the options. Because you're going for really, really big plays at once, cards like this can be really useful. So that's my Flamvell deck. Pretty fun to play, pretty crazy. It's a little bit risky because you have to rely on getting Rekindling. You have ways to get it back, but you kind of have to rely on your graveyard situation and stuff like that. But all the cards in the deck are in there to make it a lot more consistent and make it make the graveyard and your hand get set up in the way you need it to be. But if you guys have your own Flamvell decks, post below. Let me know in the comments, make suggestions for me and that kind of thing. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.